Namaste, Jai Bharat. It seems, and it seems only, that there's a possibility of Hamas ceasing to exist. There were movements from various quarters that Hamas should be contained. Primarily, the Arab nations, many of the Arab nations are in favor of that because such outfits are always a pain in the posterior for most people, except those who are in support of them. But then now, even they themselves do not want this Hamas menace to exist. I do not know about Iran's opinion, but in general, Arab nations don't want this, and there is a possibility that the Hamas menace might not be the case again, and there's a possibility of the so-called two-nation theory. That's again another pain for the people of Bharat because that's how the Pakistan had been cooked up. Then there is a possibility that the Gaza would become habitable. I don't know whether Trump is going to make resorts there and make it a tourist destination. I do not know, but that could be in his mind. He already said about it some time back. So there is such possibility here, and it's about 1,000 years, or not 1,000, maybe 1,000 years of conflict between these people. Palestine never existed in the history. Philistines, of course, but not as a nation. And Hamas, obviously a terrorist outfit, they were literally ruling that landscape and making the lives of people living there miserable. All kinds of unfortunate things, and there's nothing coming out of them there. We don't know how these people used to exist. This normal life is not possible in a world where technology and science is so advanced and people living in comfort, if not everyone in luxury, but many in luxury, but then at least in comfort they have the basic need. They have basic need. People they don't go to the forest to bring firewoods to burn their burners at home, chula we call at home. Many things have happened, and these days even gas comes to your home through pipes. Of course, in places like Baroda, it happened before it happened in Europe. Gas comes to your kitchen through a tap. 150 years plus years ago, Baroda had this gases at home. But it's taking place. So living comfort, many facilities, internet, this mobile, this thing, that thing. So many new facilities came to the civilization of mankind, and people are supposed to live a little more comfortably. But then these lot, who are like people living in Gaza, or like people living in Pakistan, I'm talking about the majority common people, not those few who are affluent. These things are not accessible to them. They're a part of the world civilization when you look at them seriously, and they don't have this access because of the kind of people who govern them, who rule them. That's absolutely unfortunate when you talk about humanism. Those people who talks about human rights, or those who keep philanthropy as a postulate, should not turn their faces away from this. And practically, when you see those who do talking about humanism and humanitarian things, they all have vested interests. They use these human considerations for their whatever ends. That has become very unfortunate. And people lie. People lie with no shame. And people like prime ministers, those who hold the post of prime ministers, lie publicly to everyone, and everyone understands what he speaks is a lie. I'm talking about Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan. Goes to UN and tells blatant lie that they won a war with Bharat. They never won any battle with Bharat in their entire history, which is very short. They don't have a history. Pakistan don't have a history at all. They cook up history, spurious stories of Mughals. This is a kind of Hamas. makes many people's life miserable. And the terrorists themselves are supposed to be fundamentally human beings who do not know what they are doing. They don't know what they are doing. And this is a statement from Christ. They really don't know what they are doing. So, Lord, forgive them. That's a real statement. It's applicable to these terrorists. They do not know what they're doing. They're brainwashed to that extent of no return and no redemption. Anyway, that's a good thought that Hamas could cease to exist. And of course, there is this possibility is always open. Let's always be very careful and cautious that if one Hamas goes, some other thing will come up with a different name. That's what happens in Pakistan. One terrorist outfit changes the name. The same people, same structure, same objectives, and same activities, same funding, same sources, same support, but names changed. Let's hope that that thing will not happen in Gaza. But then there's one group of people whom I personally trust. They are the Jews, Israel. They shouldn't let it happen, and I'm sure they wouldn't let it happen. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.